Okay guys, so I was almost the fourth person to die on my one wheel. I don't know if I should go to the hospital or something. Guys, I don't even know what to say. 13-year-old Ethan would be freaking out right now. I am living in the future right now. Ah! Guys, my wife just bought me the One Wheel GT for my 30th birthday, and I am absolutely pumped. Guys, in this video, I'm going to give you an in-depth review of the One Wheel GT that came out earlier this year. I'm specifically going to give you my on-road and off-road review. You're going to want to make sure to watch to the end because it's going to get crazy. Something to consider before we start this video is this. To the date, 3 people in the United States have died riding a one wheel. The question is, am I going to be the 4th? So if I die riding this one wheel, it will be absolutely devastating for Lydia. She will be alone with 4 kids, abandoned, without help. She won't have all of this. All of this. To look at every single day after work. That, I'm telling you, is devastating. In this video, I'm going to take chances. I'm going to drive safe. You're gonna wanna make sure you watch to the end of this video because at the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you everything I love and hate about the One Wheel GT. Make sure you watch to the end because it's gonna be important information that you're gonna wanna consider before buying one of these one wheels. Let's get going. Let's go for a ride. Woo! Okay, guys. First impressions, this thing weighs a ton, 45 pounds. It is like so much heavier than you would ever think it is. I did buy mine with the treaded tire. I do believe that the treaded tire does add a lot of grip and traction when you're going through dirt, loose gravel, leaves, different things like that. I'm super happy with this little Magpul lift thing that you use to carry it around. That is such a great, super smart little contraption that they threw on there. The other thing I love about this thing is this battery lasts a long time. I barely ever have to charge it. I've never ever reached a point where I've gone out of battery because the battery lasts so long. I've been riding this thing for a little over a month, and you might be asking me, why in the world does this thing look so scratched up and used? Oh gosh. It's honestly because when you're learning how to ride this thing, there's a lot of tumbling. You jump off of it, you bail, and it tumbles and stuff like that. So it gets scratched up pretty easily. One Wheel sells different rail guards, bumpers, fenders for pretty reasonable prices because they kind of know you're going to want to replace them because of how quickly it gets scratched up. So now that I've told you a little bit about the GT, let's see how it rides off-road. If you're new to our channel, we live on 20 acres of land and we own an apple orchard. It's a little bit older, but still so beautiful. You guys are catching this literally in the prime of fall right now. We are flying through on grass. It is super bumpy, and yet you can see that it's super stable. You can see I'm just cruising. I've ate it a couple times, but I really honestly haven't fallen that many times. The hardest part about riding a one wheel off-road is honestly when you run into like a huge thick stick or a log or something like that, because it just can't get over top of it. But anything other than that, this thing can just cruise right on through. It's pretty amazing. Okay guys, so what you're about to see is me getting you guys the most beautiful drone shot you've ever seen of me one-wheeling. The problem is I was also operating the drone while I was one-wheeling, so I wasn't looking in front of me. So as you can see, I'm cruising along in the bottom left hand of your screen, and then I hit a huge pothole in our field. I was absolutely launched from my one wheel because my one wheel stopped moving and I kept moving. That is what we call velocity and momentum at work. I got completely wrecked. My shin has like a hematoma. I was almost the fourth person to die on my one wheel today. It was almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, and can't believe that just happened. Here's what my normal leg looks like right now. This is what my other leg looks like. See that? This is not good. I don't know if I should go to the hospital or something. I know what you guys are saying. Where's your helmet, dude? I know. Totally forgot. Let's go take this thing for a ride in town and show you what it's got. Okay guys, so we're cruising around town right now. Cruising on pavement is just by far, it's just so fun. It's just so nice. The one thing I wanted to mention is that I've heard a ton of people talk about they felt like the treaded tire was too loud compared to the slick tire. And I don't really even understand how you can even say that, because it's so quiet on even the treaded tire on pavement. Now I've never ridden a slick tire in my life, so I wouldn't be able to give you any kind of a comparison, but it just doesn't seem like this would be any louder than just the other tire, because it's virtually completely silent. Honestly, I hear the battery in the motor more than I hear in anything else. We're approaching a large hill, and this thing just has no issue going up steep hills. See how it just, it's like there's nothing holding me down at all going up this hill. It's amazing. On pavement, you can just carve, and if you love snowboarding, this is the thing to get, because you get that snowboarding feel while being on pavement, so you can just really rock your heels and toes back and forth and get that nice cool feel. I can quite honestly say this is one of the most fun gifts I've ever been given. I did pick it out, but it is so much fun. It's such a blast. Okay guys, let's go back to the barn, and I'm gonna give you my top things I love about this one wheel and the top things I hate about this one wheel. Okay guys, let's talk about the things that I love most about this one wheel. So number one is this speed. I love how fast this thing goes. It will absolutely rip. It's so fast, it's so strong. Can you say torque? It's very, very strong. The other thing that I really love about this thing is the technology behind it. The one wheels work with a phone app, and that phone app works with my Apple Watch, so that when I ride this one wheel down the road, my watch will tell me how many miles per hour I am going, and it'll also tell me what the current battery life is. I just love how easy it is to use. I love that you can switch the ride style on your phone. Like, you can go into my favorite style, which is Highline style. I feel like it's really torquey, it's fast, but it feels really stable. It's just nice because they make all these different profiles of how you can use this board, and you can quickly, with just the flick of a finger, switch the way that your board rides. So if you're in different terrain, you can quickly adapt to that terrain. One more thing that I love about this thing is that the battery is displayed on this LED strip right here. So as you ride, it will go lower and lower and lower. And then if you don't have your phone with you, you can still ride and still have a general idea of what your battery life is at. Another thing that I love is I love that they put a handle on the side right here to grab and go here, or you can grab from the top. The other thing that I love about this thing is this thing right here, the treaded tire. I love that I can ride off-road. So whether you live in the country or whether you live in the city, the fact that you can go anywhere, parks, cement, it just doesn't matter. You can go anywhere you need to go, and I love that about this thing. So now let's talk about what I do not like about the One Wheel GT. So there's supposed to be a feature on here called the beep feature, which beeps at you when you're about to hit max pushback and when you're about to hit that threshold where the nose is gonna dive into the ground. I don't know whether it's just my model and maybe mine just didn't make it through that kind of quality inspection, but there's sometimes a very subtle beep, but I barely ever hear it, even when I'm pushing like 17, 18 miles per hour. Maybe I'm not pushing hard enough, and maybe it gets louder as you go, but so far, even in the slower modes, I do not hear that beep, which is kind of frustrating because I would like to have that warning if I'm about to completely eat it. Which this kind of leads me into my next thing that I don't like about it is I don't like that I don't have a better sense of when I'm gonna hit that pushback. I can get cruising and I don't really feel confident about my threshold of where I could just completely nosedive into the ground. I feel like I've hit the pushback maybe 1 or 2 times while riding, and maybe I'm just not pushing my board as hard, and maybe I'm being more careful than other people, which is probably good, but so far I don't have a good gauge of how far forward can I actually push before this thing's gonna completely just make me eat it. The last thing that I don't like about this GT is the foot sensors. When you put your feet on, watch this blue light right here, okay? You can put your foot on and it will only sometimes sense like your back heel, maybe your front foot. But I've really noticed with people with smaller feet, especially my friends that have smaller feet, they can barely even ride this thing because the front foot pad doesn't register their small feet. Specifically for my son Grayson, there's times where I want to hold his hands and let him try it. And because it's so sensitive, which I know is a safety feature, it just makes it so that he can't ride it, which if you have friends with small feet, it can be kind of a bummer because it will disengage and not work sometimes. And especially if you're somebody buying this thing and you have small feet, that's definitely something to consider because sometimes it's really difficult. I even had one day where I was wearing some Vans skater shoes that are completely flat, and because they didn't like mold to the shape of the concave foot pad, it wasn't registering. So I needed to switch shoes just to make it register. So definitely something I think they could work on, but overall, still really happy with this GT. So I'm about to go out to the driveway and go scootering with my kids, and I wanna show you guys how powerful this thing really is. I am somebody who weighs currently 215 pounds, and I'm going to ride this with my daughter Scarlett. We're gonna do it very safely, very slowly, don't worry. But I will show you guys just how powerful this thing is, and the fact that I'm 215 pounds, which is I think 96 kilograms for my European friends, and my daughter weighs about 50 pounds or so. It can carry a lot and it doesn't even flinch, which is really impressive. So let's go out to the yard and let's finish this video up. Woo! Okay guys, thank you so much for watching the Liddy and Ethan channel. If you enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor, smash the subscribe button. We have awesome shorts and awesome videos coming out every single week that you're not gonna wanna miss, so make sure you smash the subscribe button and you'll see our videos every week. Guys, thank you so much for liking, for commenting. If you guys have a one wheel, let me know in the comments below what you love about it. Let me know if there's different accessories that are must-haves. Just help everybody out in the one wheel community, and we will see you guys in the next video. Let's go!